remember what comes next. I played this only yesterday from memory. I've been playing it several times from memory and my mind just gone completely blank. Has that ever happened to you, or is it something that you're worried about happening if you are playing from memory? Well, in today's video tutorial, I'm going to give you 4 techniques that will help you to be really secure at playing music from memory. So my first tip, my first technique is to understand what you're playing. Memory shouldn't simply be a sequence of remembering notes, but we should know the music more deeply than that. So we know what's happening in the structure of the music, we know what's happening in the harmonies, the chords, we've looked for any patterns, any repetition, and we've really got all those details firmly in place. So for example, if you're memorising the first movement of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, having that knowledge of the chords, knowing this is C sharp minor, the chord stays the same, the bass changes, then it goes to A major. Understanding that structure of the piece will be really helpful. If you're memorising a sonata movement, for example, understanding the structure of the movement is useful. So you've got your exposition and you've probably got your 2 subjects. Which key are the subjects in? Then it goes into development. What happens in the development? And when we get the recapitulation, what key are the subjects in? It's a common thing for the recapitulated sonata to maybe go a bit astray because we end up in the wrong key. So understand the music deeply. Understand the structure, the chords, the harmonies, and everything going on in it. Second tip is don't always start at the beginning. I've heard pupils play from memory and then the memory goes wrong, they have a little slip, they go right back to the beginning and start again. And maybe a memory slip happens at the same time, so they have another go, and then in the end they're able to play on. But we need to know the music again more deeply than that. We need to be able to start at different places. So could you start the piece at bar 30 and play from memory from that point? Could you start it at bar 25? It's a useful check. Check you can start in different places in the piece. My third technique is to take the piano away. Now that might sound a little bit strange, but look at your score away from the piano and can you picture how the music sounds without having the piano in front of you? Can you, in your mind, sort of go through the different fingering options? Maybe even just playing it and tapping on a table, but can you remember what the fingering is, where you need to tuck that thumb under? Can you picture the sheet music in your head? Could you mentally play a section? I find this a really useful technique, and if I'm going to play any music from memory, I always aim to be able to play the piece through mentally away from the piano. And it's a useful check to make sure I'm not just relying on the muscle memory, but it's memorised in a deeper way than that. And my fourth technique is to test your memory rather than repeatedly proving that it works. So instead of just keep playing the same piece from memory over and over again and thinking I can play it all the way through from memory, I've done it 10 times in the last few weeks, it's going to be good. Give yourself memory tests. So I've already mentioned starting in different places. Can I start here from memory? Can I start there? Can I play it hand separately from memory? And that's a really good check because often the left hand is perhaps relying on the right hand being there to know what to do. So if I can play the left hand by itself from memory, I've got that extra security. Can I play a phrase from memory and then stop, but in my mind, know what's going to happen in the next phrase? So I'm not relying on necessarily the continuity. Can I play the piece slowly from memory? Can I play it from memory without any kind of warm-ups at the piano, or playing it at a different time of day, or playing it on a different piano? All these things are useful checks. So in other words, it's not just about memorising it on the surface, but memorising it really deeply and thoroughly to ensure that when we perform it from memory, it is absolutely secure. So let me just go over those 4 tips again. 1, understand the music deeply, harmony, structure, etc. 2, don't always start at the beginning. 3, can you mentally memorise it away from the piano? 4, test your memory, hand separate, slow practice, etc. All those different things. The way I actually go about learning a piece from memory myself is I would look at the whole structure of the piece first of all. I do that even before learning a piece. Look at the structure, look for repetition. And then what I would do is break it down into small sections, and I'd aim to just work on and learn and memorise a small section. I wouldn't try a whole piece in one go. That's just going to take forever to memorise. But if I do little chunks and gradually build it up, then I'm beginning to get it into the memory. I would always make sure I do that mental reading of the music away from the piano, not just once I've got it from memory, but in the process of memorising it as well. And I would also regularly test the memory under different conditions, hand separate, slow practice, etc., etc. It's worth saying, of course, you don't necessarily need to play without the score in front of you. Even if you know a piece from memory, if you feel more comfortable with the music there, on the music stand, that's fine. But knowing it from memory just gives you that deeper level of security. So I hope you found that useful, and let me know your thoughts on playing from memory. If you'd like more free piano practice tips, then please think about signing up to my Practice Letter email newsletter. I'll put a link to that in the description of this video. You'll get a free weekly piano practicing tip in your inbox, and you'll also get for free my 7 Keys to Smarter Piano Practicing guide. Thank you for watching.